Hey, everybody, what's going on? Jeff Rieger, another episode of the Daily Ticket. This one for a Thursday, the 11th of January, 2024. We're getting closer. We are getting closer to the biggest Lions football game in our lifetime. And I got all kinds of updates for you. First of all, I must thank you for watching and reacting to yesterday's podcast. It was all about Matthew Stafford. And is it SOL if Stafford comes in the Ford Field on Sunday and beats the Lions? The jury's mixed. Some people said yes. Some people said no. We'll get to the comments after the podcast. As always, please like and subscribe, rate and review the Daily Ticket. And coming up tomorrow, I will unveil who gets the Barry Sanders replica statue trophy that the Lions gave away at their last game against the Vikings on Sunday. So we'll do that tomorrow. Also, tomorrow, programming note, Jim Costa. He's a Matthew Stafford lover. He was cheering his ass off for Stafford to win a Super Bowl back in 2021. Jim comes on the program tomorrow. He's taking over the morning show at 97.1 The Ticket in February. Stoney's retiring. So we'll have Costa on, and we'll find out who Costa's going to cheer for. He might say the Lions, but I'm not quite sure I believe him. We'll break down everything Lions and Rams as well. So that's on tomorrow's podcast. But today, there's so much news about this game. Lions, Rams, Sunday Night Football. I've also went the extra mile for you people because I did the unthinkable for the podcast, for the radio. You're going to be shocked by this, listened to the entire Kelly Stafford and Hank Winchester podcast. It's called The Morning After. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I do have some Kelly Stafford updates because, as you know, you can't talk about Matthew without talking about Kelly. But let's start with the game very quickly, okay? Because there's one question I think that a lot of people are wondering about. How is Sam LaPorta? Is he going to be able to play on Sunday night? The rookie tight end for the Lions who's breaking records that got injured against the Vikings. At first, it looked really bad. Maybe he was done for the season. Then Dan Campbell came out and said, it's still bad. Probably won't play on Sunday, but it's not as bad as we initially thought it was. And now, yesterday, Dan Campbell, for the first time this week since Monday, spoke to the media. Here's what he had to say about Sam LaPorta. Dan Campbell does not expect a tangible update on Sam LaPorta until Friday afternoon. Said he was out there for a walkthrough on Wednesday morning. The best way to say it, he's improving. So there's still a chance that Sam LaPorta apparently plays for the Lions, which would be unbelievably helpful. Obviously, how good he's been, right? Dan Campbell was also asked about Amon-Ra St. Brown being pissed off because he was a Pro Bowl snub. Campbell joked, well, I'm glad because, he needs something to motivate him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, by the way, dyed his hair Honolulu blue. It's a pretty good look, if I do say so myself. Also, on Jameson Williams, Dan Campbell said J-Mo has earned trust by making plays and becoming much more consistent. And you're going to need J-Mo and everybody else if you're going to beat the Rams on Sunday night. So there are your Lions updates. Pretty good news all the way around. LaPorta's not ruled out. J-Mo's going to play. Remember, he didn't play against the Minnesota Vikings because he did have an ankle injury that he suffered the game before in Dallas. And Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be motivated. Jared Goff is going to be motivated. I mean, can you imagine Jared Goff going against the guy that kicked him out of town? Jared Goff demanded an exit interview with Sean McVay just because he wanted to know why McVay was kicking him out. Jared Goff told our midday show, Doug and Scott, that it was beneficial, but he doesn't remember much about it, which I'm not quite sure I believe him, but what are you going to do? So that's your updates about the game. But what about the game itself? The game itself is going to be interesting because what nobody's talking about is how expensive it's going to be to go to the game. If you got season tickets, you probably bought these playoff tickets a while back. But if you're an individual that just wanted to go to the biggest game of our life, how much is it going to cost you? Where do Lions ticket prices for the postseason rank against other teams. And I got that news for you because Dave Burkett from the Free Press tweeted this article out. And this is kind of staggering. But considering the Lions haven't been to the postseason since 2016, considering it's the first ever playoff game at Ford Field, considering it's the first home playoff game in 30 years, you kind of got the feeling that tickets might be a little pricey, right? This is written in the Free Press. TickPick said Tuesday, the current get-in price for Lions Rams, so that's just to get in the building, whether it's standing room or really crappy seats. The current get-in price is $571, including fees. That's 48% more expensive than the next most expensive game this weekend, which is Cowboys and Packers. The get-in price for that game is $293. So if you want to go to Lions Rams, it's going to cost you $571 just to get in the building. If you want to go to Cowboys Packers at Jerry's Dome, it's going to cost you $293. The average purchase price, get this, for the Lions game on Sunday is $801. More than double the previous amount of the most expensive wild card game last season, which was Bucs Cowboys, $387. Currently, if you want to go to the secondary market, the cheapest ticket on SeatGeek is $598. Is it worth it? I ask you. Like if you want to go to Chiefs Dolphins, it's only going to cost you $286. You want to go to Lions Rams, it's going to cost you damn near $600. Is that worth it to you? I mean, for me personally, I can't answer the question. I probably watch it at home, but it is the biggest game of our life. And Matthew Stafford is coming to town. And the Lions have a chance to exercise all those demons and kill SOL and get you that playoff win that you've wanted forever, your entire life. Can you put a price on happiness? What else are you going to spend that money on? Bills? Mortgage? Car payments? A new cell phone? I don't know. You got to answer that question yourself. That's pretty pricey. It's pretty pricey for 3 hours, but it's going to be a hell of a 3 hours. So if you're wondering what it costs to get in, that's what it cost. And now for the nuts and bolts of this podcast. We're saving the best topic for last. You probably have heard about this by now, but I love this topic. Have you heard about the Matthew Stafford jersey ban? Oh, yeah, you have. It started with the D-line. Apparently, they make T-shirts. Let me read this to you. So the D-line puts out there, and it says, the jersey ban. Lions Stafford jerseys will not be permitted into Ford Field on Sunday. Here's what it looks like. All right? And I like this, by the way. Apparently, it got thousands of likes on Instagram, but only like 11 or 12 likes on Twitter. So I don't believe this is going to become a widespread thing. Or is it? Because guess who responded to the Matthew Stafford jersey ban? And by the way, before I tell you, it makes perfect sense. Why would you wear a Matthew Stafford Lions jersey to a Lions-Ram playoff game and spare me it's the only jersey I got? Then wear a T-shirt. Wear a sweatshirt. Don't you dare go into Ford Field wearing Matthew Stafford on your back and the Lions on your front. Absolutely not. I agree with the D-line. Good for them. But you know who doesn't agree? Kelly Stafford. So Kelly Stafford writes this in the comments section. Somebody must have made her aware to the jersey ban. Listen what Kelly B. Stafford 89 has to say. Well, this is sad because it's the complete opposite of how we feel about this city. But Matthew has always been the bigger person and will continue to be that, praying for an incredible game with 0 injuries. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Matthew's been the bigger person? What? That's the say Lions fans have been unfair to Matthew Stafford? Is that what you're trying to say? The same Lions fans that rooted for Stafford to go to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, the same Lions fans that spent their money on dumbass Detroit Rams t-shirts, the same Lions fans that flock to social media and sports radio and talk about how much they love your husband, those fans, Matthew's been a bigger man than them. Like, what are you talking about? Matthew Stafford could not have been treated better in Detroit. He made $250 million. We went over this yesterday. He didn't win a single playoff game. He doesn't have one defining moment, but yet all Detroit fans did was cheer for the guy, treat the guy like gold, call him elite. But Matthew's the bigger man? Like, what is that? And by the way, Kelly, it's not personal. These are Lions fans that are going to the game. And I know this might be hard to understand, but they care more about winning the football game than they do about your husband. Sorry, but they do. Matthew played in Detroit, and Detroit fans treated him like gold. No, I didn't. I ripped him every chance I got. I admit that, and I'll stand by that. I ripped him on the field. Seems like a hell of a guy, by the way. But come on. You don't understand why Detroit would want to not have Stafford jerseys in the stands? Give me a break. I don't know why this is firing me up. I need to be the bigger man and not even talk about this, but you know me. I'm all about the low-hanging fruit. I am. And you know what, by the way? Since this has happened, we have more reaction. It's now not just one Twitter profile that's calling for the jersey ban. Check this out. I saw this just before doing this podcast. This is interesting. According to Fox 2, a Detroit bar is banning Matthew Stafford jerseys ahead of the game as well. They say use some common sense. The bar's name is Thomas McGee's. Let me read this to you from Fox. Thomas McGee's is issuing a pretty blunt warning to Detroit Lions fans. Don't even try to come in with a Stafford jersey on. The bar's social media page posted a warning to Lions fans saying, get this, they will be turned away at the door if they're wearing Stafford jerseys. Thomas McGee's going to say, get out if they see you wearing number 9. I'm going to go to Thomas McGee's. I'm going to go get a drink there because they know what the hell they're doing. It says PSA. Please refrain from trying to enter Thomas McGee's on game day wearing Lions Stafford jerseys. You'll be turned away at the door. It's our first home game in 30 years. Use some common sense. Regards, ownership. That's a message from the bar. That is awesome. They're turning away business. They're going to kick you out of their bar. That's amazing. I hope every bar in downtown Detroit follows suit. Thomas McGee, you people are trendsetters. I love you. Good for you. No Stafford jerseys at Lions games. None at all. So here's what I decided to do. I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I want to be like Tom Gores. I want to do massive work in the community. So I called up my buddy and his wife, and they make t-shirts. And here's what I'm going to do. I got myself a bunch of t-shirts, and I think it's kind of witty. Let me explain it to you. It's going to be a white t-shirt, and it's a silhouette of Matthew Stafford. And on the top, it's going to say sack, and on the bottom, it's going to say Stafford. It's just going to say sack Stafford. And I'm going to go up to people on Sunday before the game wearing Stafford jerseys, and I'm going to get an interview on video. I'll share it with you on the next Daily Ticket. And I am going to ask them if they be so kind to wear my t-shirt over their Stafford jerseys. What? What do you want? What? My dog always interrupts me when it's time to do the podcast. I don't understand why. You got a problem? Speak. Say something. What, you like Matthew Stafford? Is that what it is? Please, can I finish? Thank you. I'm going to go outside. I got to let her outside. I'll be right back. I'm back. Every time I do a podcast, it seems like my dog, she's 12 and a half. I love her to death. Seems like she needs to come up, bark at me, and tell me that she needs to go outside. And now she's going to leave me alone, hopefully long enough to finish this podcast. Anyway, what do you think of the idea, though? I'm fighting back. I've had a lot of these t-shirts made. If I have them in time for tomorrow's podcast, I'll show them to you. If not, Monday's podcast, after the game, I will incorporate video of me going up to people wearing Stafford jerseys and asking them to put my t-shirt on instead. It's going to say Sack Stafford. Here's the picture. I'll show this to you. What do you think? It's going to look something like that. Now that looks sweet, doesn't it? Can you see it? How about that? That's the prototype you just saw. What do you think? Pretty cool, right? So if you dare to wear a Stafford jersey, if you dare, I'm going to be tapping you on the shoulder and asking you nicely, extra large, or medium, or small, what size are you? Take that damn thing off and put this on instead. We need to be all together on this one, people. We need to be all together. No Stafford jerseys at the damn game. Come on. The only Stafford jersey you should see, and I said this yesterday, is Matthew wearing his Stafford jersey. And like the t-shirt says, I hope he gets sacked. Sack Stafford. Is that clever enough?
Could you try again?
I was thinking about something like End SOL, Sack Stafford, or Help End SOL, but I just thought blunt and to the point would be better, right? So there you go. So if you see somebody walking around in a Sack Stafford t-shirt, you know it was me and my buddies behind it. I'll give them massive props as well on the next podcast. So that's what I'm going to do. Good idea, bad idea? What do you think? By the way, if you have a better t-shirt idea, let me know in the comment section. If it's not too late, maybe I'll incorporate your idea instead of mine. By the way, speaking of Kelly Stafford, I told you, I'm all about you people. I just want you to like my podcast so bad. I'm kind of an attention seeker, right? That's why you get in this business to begin with. But I always want to be prepared. So what I decided to do, and it was agonizing, but I decided to listen to the morning after. That's Kelly Stafford's, Matt's wife's podcast. Now, I don't know if there's a more recent one that I did not listen to, but the one I listened to sounded like it was right from Sunday after they found out that the Rams were going to play the Lions. Here was Kelly's points that stuck out to me. Kelly Stafford said her first text from Matthew Stafford after they found out they were going to play the Lions was, "Let's fucking go." Probably like this. "Let's fucking go." So that was the first text she got. I'm sure Matthew's fired up to be back. Kelly also said, and apparently this was a problem, this was a concern for some people, Madonna is playing at the Little Caesars Arena on Monday. Some people were worried that the Lions-Rams were going to be on Monday Night Football, so that would have been a conflict. But it's not. So Kelly does the podcast with Hank Winchester from Channel 4. And Kelly said she really wants to go to Madonna with Hank on Monday, but she doesn't think she's going to be able to make it. Kelly was not happy about there being no hotel rooms available in Detroit. People, I'm sure, bought them up months ago. And she doesn't know if she's going to sit in a suite or in the stands. She does not like the prospect of sitting in the stands with her 4 kids. She said that. Kelly also loves Dan Campbell, but she disagreed with his decision to play his starters on Sunday, and now the Lions might be without Sam LaPorta and Khalif Raymond. Kelly also said she's happy that the NFL chose football over fame and that Taylor Swift and the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce got a Peacock game, a streaming game. And it's her husband and the Lions and Rams that got the national TV game on Sunday Night Football. So that's what Kelly Stafford is thinking, because I know you wanted to know. You're never going to ask me, "Hey, Jeff, what's Kelly thinking?" I just took it upon myself to do some reporting. I listened to that podcast. Not a bad podcast, by the way. I listened to the entire thing as I was walking around Meijer doing some grocery shopping. Nice job, guys. Hank and Kelly, I listened. I might follow that and like and review it. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for the Daily Ticket. Let me know where you stand on the jersey ban. Let me know if you have a better idea than my t-shirts, Sack Stafford. And by the way, feel free to tell me what a great guy I am, that I'm going to go around Ford Field and make sure people cover up those filthy Stafford jerseys. Now, if some Rams fans wearing a Stafford jersey, I'll do my best, but I can't promise you anything. But we know the Rams don't have fans. Did you see their parade in 21 when they won it all? There was like 4 people there. It was like in a park in Los Angeles. Like seriously, 4 people showed up, maybe 5. There were more Detroit Rams shirts made than people actually showed up, I feel, to the Rams celebration. So I'm going to do my best. I'm looking forward to this. Sack Stafford. All right. It's going to do it for the Daily Ticket. Let me get you some quick comments. Yesterday's podcast was all about Matthew Stafford. It was a tough question to ask, but I did ask the question, if the Lions lose, does that mean this is SOL? And I said it was. Kind of ripped Stafford in the process. Let me read some comments, all right? And then we'll get out of here. This one comes from Ben Bird 2100. Win or lose, the Rams have the potential to absolutely torch our secondary, hoping for a strong run game and enough turnovers to seal the deal on what could end up being a shootout. I would agree with you 100%. I mean, look at what the Lions have done recently defensively. The last 3 games against Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, they gave up damn near 800 total yards receiving. Now, they held those teams down in points. They only gave up 20 points to the Vikings and 20 points to the Cowboys. So, while, yes, receivers are getting off on them a little bit, at the same time, they're not scoring. So that's good. How about this one? This one comes from Astrotherapist. Says, SOL for me, please, has never been 3-13 or even 0-16. For me, it's always been about the Lions get you all jacked up emotionally. You drink the Kool-Aid and you start to believe in the Lions. Then they rip your hearts out and lose a playoff game. Will you stop? I can't control my dog. Goes on to say, that's going to be SOL. Hell yes. If they blow this and lose to Stafford, a home playoff game, SOL will be alive and well. The Lions must win this game or everything will be completely destroyed. Everyone will be screaming for Goff's head. The entire team could fall apart, and we could be looking at 5-12 next year versus 12-5 this year, and that for sure would be SOL. As dramatic and extreme as that comment sounds, I 100% agree with them. That's why this game is so big. Biggest game we've ever seen. If you lose to Stafford, the guy that was here for 12 years and couldn't win anything, and everybody defended him, you lose to that guy, you miss out on your opportunity to say that you're real. You miss out on your chance to finally win a playoff game and deliver that to the fans. They've been waiting for fucking ever. Yes, I agree. That would be SOL. That is a very nice comment, even though it's a little harsh. How about this one? We talked about the Stafford ban. Lurch-11 says the whole online Stafford jersey ban movement is ridiculous, but only because it should be common sense. I have one and I love Stafford and am going to the game, but the Detroit Rams die this week. That is a fabulous comment. Good for you, sir. Danielle Stewart says, if you all lose to Stafford, ouch. I would agree. Keisha Smith, 7851. There is definitely still a lot of Stafford fans. Check social media. People are going to cheer for him. They better not. They better cheer when he gets sacked. I hope the Lions don't do a tribute video. They better not do a special introduction. Save that for next year. The Rams come to Ford Field next year. Do all that next year in a regular season game. You better not do it in the biggest game of our lifetime. Brian B. Rams are on a mission. Lots of number 9 jerseys will be in the stands for Detroit. Not if I have anything to say about it. They will be replaced with Sack Stafford t-shirts. I got 2 more. Twins 111105. Rieger. I'm one of those people who likes to torture themselves, and that's why I watch this podcast. Then he types like 5 smiling emojis and says, only joking, Rieger. Kind of. So he kind of likes me. And then one more for you. And it was from a Rams fan. And this is cool because people are getting in fights on my comment section, which I always like. Gary Moore, 3384. As an LA Rams fan, we don't give a shit about Detroit and their feelings. We trying to win another championship and be labeled a mini dynasty. Sean McVay is smarter than Dan Campbell, and that will be the difference. And then somebody decided to interact with Gary Moore, 3384. Emmanuel Music, 6371, says, as a Lions fan, we don't give a shit about LA and their feelings. Get the fuck out of here. We clowning y'all Sunday night. McVay will go down with Stafford Sunday. Lions winning easy. Yeah. God, I look ridiculous when I get fired up. I do. Yeah. That's a great comment. We're going to end it on that one. That's the daily ticket. What? Come here. Come here. What do you want? What do you want? What? What? Tell the people what you want. Tell them. Tell them. Tell them. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I love you too. Say hi to Bouncy, everybody. Look at this beauty. Oh, I love this dog. Maybe I can get, you think I can get Bouncy to be like Kirk Herbstreit's dog? What's the dog's name? Sam or Evan or Chris? I forget. You want to be like that dog? That dog gets to go to every football game. Yeah? Yeah? Tell the people. Do you want to be like that dog? Yeah? Bark if you want to be like that dog. Yeah? Yeah? I think she wants to be like that dog. All right, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow on the Daily Ticket. We got Jim Costa on. I'm looking forward to it. Bye.